Oh, no, wrong timing.
Wake up. Obviously, we're boring her.
Oh God, it was the wrong timing and I couldn't help it.
Why does this say public group 11,000 members? Oh, you can share it with that group.
Just share.
Wow. Where did that come from? That's pretty cool. I'm Rick McBride.
And I'm Sarah Yaki.
And we are your Property Masters. And before we get started, we're going to talk about why you should buy rather than rent. But before we get started, we want to let you know that we have March Madness going on in the month of March. If you list your property with us, we will give you a $1,500 rebate at closing that you can use towards your closing costs. If you've been listening to our videos or watching, you know that the market is insane right now. Okay? And your property will sell fast and it will sell for top dollar, most likely. Okay? So we need listings. Everybody needs listings. So March Madness, list your property in the month of March with us. Sign the agreement, and we will give you $1,500 towards your closing costs.
Closing costs? What?
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 What? $1,500 rebate that they can use at closing towards all their fees. So high prices, low inventory, low interest rates, that means it'll sell quickly. So again, $1,500 if you list your property in the month of March. What?
Nothing. It's nothing.
All right. So now hear what we're here to talk about. Why is it better to rent than it is to buy?
No.
Did I just say that backwards?
Yeah.
It's not better to rent than buy. Why it's better to buy than rent?
Sometimes I actually listen to you, so it kind of helps.
You always listen.
No.
You're a good listener.
Here we go.
You're a good listener. So the most important and most obvious reason it's better to buy is it's cheaper. Rents have gone through the roof. You can actually purchase a property for less than you can rent. At first it seems like it's more expensive and that you have to pay more up front. But if you're a first-time home buyer or if you get an FHA loan, it's actually about the same amount as your first, last, and security deposit plus all the other fees if you have pets and all kinds of fees that add up. So pretty balanced. You can get a first-time home buyer's loan for 3% down and an FHA loan for 3.5% down. So, and over the long term, according to Trulia, home ownership is 38% cheaper on average than renting. That's basically calculating putting a 20% down payment, 30-year fixed mortgage, but you don't have to do that. So the number would be more like 30% if you are doing an FHA loan or something like that. But if you have the money to pay first, last, and security, you should look at buying because it would make more sense, more financial sense, and more fiscal sense for you.
Another great reason is your mortgage payment won't change. Your escrow can change, but your mortgage part of your payment will never change. So unlike when you're renting, you're at the mercy of your landlord who's always raising your rent prices after you've moved in, and then you don't want to move again, and you're kind of stuck with paying more and more as your term of living there goes. And Trulia also says that in the last year, nationally, that rent increased 6.5%. So if you own, you know what your payment's going to be outside of the escrow, which is your taxes and your insurance, and that payment of your mortgage is just never going to change.
Yeah, that's a national number too, 6.5%. I'm just saying, I would wager that probably locally, I don't know this for a fact, but based on our experience, because we do property management as well, I would say that probably that the rents around here have gone up, 10% in the last year at least. So they go up here more, even more, whereas interest rates have stayed down, so the actual payment, your payment, is still much less than your rent. The other thing that happens is you build equity. So what is equity, you ask? Equity is the difference between what you owe on a property and what that property is worth. So if you were to put, say, to make the numbers easy, a $200,000 house and you put 10% down or 3% down, that would be $6,000. So you would have a $200,000 house, and then you would have a mortgage of $194,000. So your equity would be $6,000. The difference between what you paid and what you put down. That's your equity. Well, as you pay, so your mortgage is $194,000 and the value of your property is $200,000. So as you pay that mortgage down, that's going to go down. And the value of the property, we hope, is going to continue up. So now, let's say 10 years from now, your property's worth $250,000 and you owe $150,000. You now have $100,000 of equity. So that's $100,000 cash that you can take out of the property. You can buy another property. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your money. But if you've been paying rent to a landlord, guess who has equity now?
Landlord.
The landlord has the equity. So you're basically paying their mortgage for them, paying their equity down, and they just made $100,000 on you. Okay? So you definitely want to build equity, which over the long term will build wealth.
The next one should be yours too,
Why is that?
because it increases your net worth. Tell them what you want to tell them on that.
Well, that's your will.
Okay.
So,
Just what we said.
I mean, right there is that you would have $100,000 of net worth in addition to anything else that you have that you've accrued. So, the other thing is, it says your home's value might increase over time. We just went over that with equity. It's probably going to increase over time. If you look back even to the 20s, properties have just gone up over a long period of time. So while there'll be some ebbs and flows along the way, generally properties will continue to increase in value.
And talking about taxes, it's a savings on your taxes because the interest part of your mortgage is tax deductible.
Yeah, not so much anymore. You would have to have a pretty hefty interest payment. But yeah, it absolutely is deductible, and it's definitely deductible on a second home as well. You can also, it'll be your dream home. Invest more time in it. You have more control over it. You can remodel it. You can customize it. And for the most part, I mean, you don't do improvements to your personal property to make it worth more. You do it because you like this. Well, guess what? If you like it, probably when you go to sell it, someone else is going to like it too. Okay? So basically, wake up. So
Bad.
So basically, you have, when you do improvements to your house, then you actually increase the value. You know, some improvements like renovate the kitchen, that one's going to pay probably twice as much as it costs. Some improvements aren't going to pay as much. If you put a $60,000 pool in, probably not going to increase the value of your house $60,000, but it's going to increase the value some, and you're going to get the use out of it. So it's yours to do whatever you want. You don't have to call every time you want to paint it a different color. So you have pride of ownership. It's yours.
And if something changes in your life and you decide that you'd like to rent it out, you have that option. So you can still make money off of it without losing money by putting a tenant in it while you're not living there.
Tenant in it? Tenant in it? Tenant in it. That's like, I edited it. Tenant in it. Okay, so anyway, so that's right. So let's say, take that one step further even. Let's say that you rented the property. Let's say that you have all that equity in it. Well, you would be paying $1,800 rent now. Well, now you can collect that $1,800 rent, and you can get that $1,400 paid down on your mortgage, and now you pocket $400, and you can apply that to your next purchase. So it can get really, really, really in depth, and all because you decided to take that step and purchase a property. Also, landlords love pets, don't they? So if you have pets, you don't have to worry about the landlord. You don't have to worry about a pet deposit. You don't have to worry about a pet rent. You know, you build a fence in your backyard, you do whatever you want with your pets. So you don't have to worry about pets and the landlord, and 9 out of 10 times when you have pets, you don't get your security deposit back from the landlord. So pets, no problem.
And the greatest of all the reasons why is it's a long-term investment. So You can live there forever, you can sell it out, you can leave it for your children, but no matter what, it's an investment. So at the end of the day, it's going to return money when you're finished with it. Well, hopefully it's going to return
Yeah,
money. when
and it
you're
stays in the
finished with
family.
it.
It doesn't go back to the bank.
Mhm.
It stays in the family, and you can inherit it, and you own it for eternity. So you own it forever until you decide to sell it. So anyway, so tons and tons and tons of reasons why you want to buy rather than rent. Renting, there are situations where renting's better if you're only going to be here for a year or something like that. But if you're going to live here and this is your home, you should own your home. You should not be paying someone else's mortgage. And you say, oh, well, I don't have a good enough credit. You might be surprised. You might have good enough credit.
So if you do have good enough credit, which she said, like he just said, you might be surprised. Okay, so if you can get past the credit hump, the down payment. The down payment is typically going to run you just as much as your first, last, and security is around here. And your closing costs, we can typically help you get paid by the seller. So you want to take that in consideration. So if we can get past the credit hump and that's not keeping you from it, then take in consideration that your first, last, and security basically equals what an FHA down payment will be on a home. So there's not really much more out of your pocket right there.
Yep. And even if you have credit issues, we can put a plan together that you'll be able to buy within the year. So go ahead and release for that 1 year. And a year from now, if you execute the plan that we put together for you in partnership with the mortgage firm, we can get you.
No.
No?
No.
No what?
No. You need to rephrase that.
The mortgage company, in collaboration with our mortgage partner, our sister company, we can then get your credit score up in about a year, no matter how bad it is. We had one that we did in a little bit less than a year. She was around 540 and she ended up buying in the 700s. So, I mean, even the original quote that we quoted her on her mortgage, it came in way cheaper. She loved us at closing because her payment was less, everything was great. Her closing costs were less, everything worked out great. So don't forget, March Madness. You'll be hearing a lot about that. We post them about it all month. March Madness. List your property with us for sale today. We're in the month of March, and you will receive a $1,500 rebate to use at closing, however you want to use it. Use it towards your closing costs, put it in your pocket, doesn't matter. $1,500 rebate at closing. Again, buy, don't rent. Nobody should be renting ever. We are your property masters. You can reach us at 386-866-1007. And I thought that was him talking on questions, and it was him texting her. So 386-866-1007. Call us, text us. One of our team will be happy to meet up with you, show you how our master's marketing program will get you top dollar for your property fast, because I almost guarantee you that your property is worth more than you think. And if Open Door says it's worth something, then it's worth a lot more than that. Don't sell it to them. Call us first. 386-866-1007. Bye.